Okay, hello and welcome to today's BoldTrail Academy. We are here in the month of December, and we have three sessions for December. And what we're focusing on is business planning. Business planning. Within that space, what we're doing today is we're talking about daily activities that we can schedule for throughout the week. So, Steve, do you have a schedule of daily activities
Yes,
that you go by?
starts at 5 a.m.
But once you get to your desk, what is it that you do? Do you have certain tasks you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Do you ever think about it in that term?
Yeah, I do. And I have generally the same pattern every morning.
Yeah. So, with that said, we're going to go over that today. And relating back to activities that we've done, we have Pitt Miller here in the room. And Pitt, you did your second annual pie challenge.
We did. Very successful.
And tell me some stats on that level of success.
Well, thanks to the second year doing it, so we could say second annual.
Mm-hmm.
And the first year we did it, it was centric to using KV Core BoldTrail. This year, some people use KV4 BoldTrail, but other people just kind of invited their own sphere of influence.
Yeah.
So we gave away 221 pies.
221 pies.
Yeah.
That's a victory.
Agents participated in giving away those pies, and almost every one of those clients walked through the door.
Yeah.
And I've had two agents text me that they've got a listing going because they met with somebody they know,
I love it.
gave them a pie, and oh, by the way, I'm here to do real estate with you. And
Yeah.
so very successful.
So I bring that up because it's important to acknowledge when we have lenders step up and help us with our marketing and creating these opportunities to reach out to our clients and say thank you and have conversations. That's really the core of what we do in BoldTrail, is creating those opportunities to say thank you, to engage with your clients, and to get your messaging out there. And so with the pie challenge, with the 17 agents, the 200 plus pies that were picked up here in the office, I would say with those 17 agents, Pitt, it's important for you to reach out to them and make sure that they're sending a thank you note and carrying that conversation forward. And you can do that with BoldTrail. And so that's what I would encourage all those 17 agents to do, is to give yourself the opportunity to say thank you, use the platform, because when you use this platform, you become better at it. And that's I can't stress that enough. If you're an occasional user that thinks you're going to come back like every 10 days and go, oh, I'm going to do this and this, you're going to forget quite a bit. And this is something I've experienced. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let me get into my screen share. And I want to go over a couple things. I practice what I preach, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in Placer County. And you can see I've posted my weekly video right here. And in that weekly video, what I'm featuring is different links that brings my client base back to my KV Core website. And so I do it every week. You can see I missed last week. I had something going on. I don't know what was going on, but I missed last week, but I'm back on it this week. I have it out. And to that point, this is going out to my database through an email blast. And so I do this every single week. And as you build more clients within your database, within your BoldTrail, whatever it is, it's important to do this. I call it the Ricky Carruth play. Ricky Carruth, Panhandle of Florida, has a massive agent business and a personal business, and every Friday at 4:30 he puts a video out. So I encourage you all to get used to doing YouTube videos. You can see the content I have out there. I do it every week. I integrate it with KV Core. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I have a workflow down, and that's again what I'm talking about today, is that workflow. So going into the BoldTrail Academy on school, I do want to point out that I took the Verl Workman presentation that we were in uh, Thursday before Thanksgiving, and he talked about business planning. He talked about the stupid, strategic, transformational, unrealistic, purpose-driven, innovative, and dynamic. Um, all of this is in there, you guys. That was a 2 hour presentation that we sat through. Go back and get into the school platform and go through this. I mean, I've gone through and summarized that presentation for you. There's a direct link to the presentation. Brent brings these people in. He loves on his agents like few organizations do. I mean, we really have it good here in Roseville with what Brent brings in. And so I'm just taking it a step further and saying, hey, this is the summary of what Verl went over. There's a direct link to that content, to that 2 hour presentation. Go in there and really get granular and do your business plan for 2026 so you have purpose going in 2026. I did get Oscar Reyes. He's the first one that has posted a general discussion within my school platform, and I really appreciate that. It shows that we're gaining traction out there. So yeah, go in there and use that. To join my school platform, let me put that link in the discussion. I'll copy that and I'll put it in the discussion. If you're not a member of the school platform, you have to create a profile, but it doesn't cost you anything to join. And like I say, I'm adding content there. My content really is value driven based on productivity. I don't say that I'm a real estate coach. Steve's a great real estate coach. I'm more focused on productivity. How can we use these tools to be more productive? And so to that point, let's jump into what we're covering today. Steve, I see you're looking at a market report and a listing today for
That's
$2
right. I was
million.
on KV Core looking at a little stuff this morning. That's
Tell
true.
me about that.
Well, it showed the market report of West Roseville, and I saw this property in West Roseville I thought was really intriguing, so I took a look at it on Saffron.
So, Steve actually did this for me as a favor to demonstrate to everybody that when you get your clients using the BoldTrail platform, as opposed to sending them MetroList links, or the worst is when I see somebody sharing a Zillow link. If anyone shares a Zillow link on social or with their clients, and I find out about it, I'll probably reach out to you and lecture you on why you shouldn't do that. To that point, this is my listing here on Memory Lane up in Auburn. And this is the link you guys should be using to share properties out. Every single listing in MetroList has this link generated that's digitally branded under your footprint. Please use these links to share your property listings out there. Don't use any other third-party listing service. Use your IDX compatible link. As you can see, it's completely branded under my digital footprint. When you go through and set up your KV Core in your agent profile, you will have this same exact capability to do. And so I'm sharing this link throughout all of my socials for this property. And I want to see everyone do the same thing. So getting back to my dashboard and going back to the topic at hand, what we want to do is create this activity within your dashboard. We want to get your clients looking at it. And the way you do that is you have daily activities that you do using the platform that pushes your content out there and builds your narrative. So, Steve, who would you say you are as an agent? What is your agent persona that you push out there?
Oh, it's kind of like the standard, high service, high response time, but probably the corner to what makes me different than a lot of agents is just flat transactional experience.
Yeah. So how do we push that messaging out there? And every single agent in this market today, I truly believe you need to have your defined persona out there. And with AI today, using AI as your digital assistant to be able to know and understand what your business goals and objectives are, you can easily go out there and build that persona and use the tools within the platform to push your messaging out. And that's what we're really talking about. So when we go into the marketing tab, I had a call from an agent back east who was looking at the marketing tab and said, I see a lot of great tools there, but what do I do with it? What do I do with it? And they really just kind of went cross-eyed with me on it. And so we got into to reading through and understanding what we can do with the present. We went over that in the last session, the smart campaigns, the design center, and all of this. And if you don't have a design plan, a defined plan on what you're doing, you can really get lost in all of these great tools.
Well, the one thing I will mention that's an easy starter for everyone is simply getting 4 bits of information on all your contacts, their name, their phone number, their address, and their email. And with that content, you can run the cotton play. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, so we'll jump into that. I'm going to stay on point with my productivity because the cotton play leads to productivity. So within this, what I do is on Monday, I put a blog post out. How many people have done a blog post using this platform? I cover it. In detail several times we've done it. But you go in here, you go to the blog, and I'll show you the blogs. This is my level of commitment to doing blog posts and what my results look like. So you can see I blogged on the 1st of December. So I'm behind on a blog. I owe myself a blog. But here I am blogging. You can see the count. Okay, so once I blog, like we'll go in and look at unlocking affordability. Again, I didn't write this. I used AI to write it, full disclosure. But AI knows my business goals and objectives. It knows my tone and the way I speak, and it writes the blogs in that manner. And so I go in and I write the blog. Now what do I do with it? I take this blog and I share it onto my social channels. It goes on to my Facebook. It goes on to my Reddit. It's on X. It's on Insta. And there are services out there that will cross post for you automatically. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that today, but there's ways that you can do that. It costs you, I think it's like $50 a month to have a cross posting site where you just post it in there and it's done. But it's important to do this more than ever today because now people are no longer Googling, they're AIing. Funny, Pitt Miller, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you're like, Dyer, no one's going to use AI. No one's going to use AI. Now Pitt does AI.
Yeah,
I don't Google anymore. I AI, and it is hilarious to me. Pitt, I appreciate the support. But to my point, my Monday task is to put content out there that pushes my persona, my goals and objectives, and I put it across all platforms. The way my prompt is that writes all the blog is it has the meta phrasing, the top trending meta phrasing for the Sacramento market. So you read through some of the stuff and it's like, it doesn't really flow that well. Well, that's because we're using meta phrasing. And that is as important as what the content is. So anytime you use AI to create any content, the number one rule is to read it. I'll say it again. You got to read the content. You can't just blast it out there and not read it. A lot of people have done that. Stephen.
Yeah, I got to share 2 points. So we've been doing a lot of research in the AI for our team, and I've been deep into a course with a gentleman named John Lee. I purchased his coaching for the year, and there's some extraordinary things we're learning. And there's 2 things that are incredibly important for you to do. And we do with our team. We actually have them meet for 4 hours with our international team to get them set up with everything exact on their social media. And if your name, is Bob M. Smith, and you put up Bob Smith, AI is going to think it's a different agent. So it needs to have the same exact name, every single platform, same phone number, same address, same bio, because it's got all those little readers that are out there. So that's the first piece. But the second, I'll tell you a quick story of a guy in Tennessee, brand new agent, never sold a house. And his coach said, you need to start blogging.
Okay.
And when you blog, go into answerthepublic.com and ask in your local market, what are the top 5 trending things, real estate questions, and then quickly just create a blog about it and then post it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this ambitious young agent, and there were some problems that were created with this approach. So it's not an approach I encourage you to do, but do what Alex is doing and post one every single week, because the AI is looking for that information. And if you say you're an authority in the Roseville market on X subject, AI is going to see you as an authority from that blog. But this young agent decided to ask thepublic.com, what are 500
Yeah.
trending topics? And he said, please create me a blog on all 500.
Yeah.
And he uploaded them all at once. So what do you
Yeah.
think happened? Other things that were a problem that were created. So it's not something that good, but on the AI search, he ranked number 2 in his market.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's proof. It is the proof of concept that if you put the effort in, it works.
So doing it daily for a year or weekly for a year is going to create a lot of, advancement in the AI search category.
So with that said, if you've never blogged, the first time you blog is going to be hard to do. The second time you're going to be like, oh, this is a little bit easier. By the time you reach, your hopefully your 5th or 6th blog, it becomes automatic for you.
How many minutes would you say it takes you to create a blog and post it out there?
It takes me longer to read it than it does to create it.
That's right. That's the point, guys. Just
Takes it
start
longer to
using
read.
AI.
Yeah.
And here's another tip. Carrie Sauvé, I learned this from
Yeah.
her, an AI expert in EXP. She's one of the top experts in America right now. And she says, get your AI, whatever one you choose, and talk to it daily.
Yeah.
Turn on your microphone and just dialogue, because it's learning about you.
That's a great point. I use Grok AI through X, and I use it throughout my day. I'll come up with content. I'll do an email. In fact, I was dealing with an attorney a couple months ago on a transaction that I had, and I went in and put in my response to the email, but I create a prompt string for the entire transaction from the time I initially had the conversation about the listing. Everything's in there. I feed everything in. And so I put the email from the attorney, my response, and then I asked AI to make sure that my response was consistent with the history of the transaction. And oh my God. I mean, it was as if I wrote it, but there was so much more detail in there. And the attorney actually got back to me and said, I have never had an agent be this detailed before. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally me. So anyway, it's something I discovered. It wasn't a podcast or anything. It's just something I thought, well, let's do this for every transaction and see how much better we could be with that transaction. Guys, go in and try it. It absolutely works. Back to my point at hand. We go off into the weeds here. If you blog on Monday and you do it every Monday and you share it across your social channels and get into that habit, you're going to build your narrative out there. You're going to increase your ranking when people are AI searching in the market. And it's a tool that we have. Moving forward.
Let me reinforce one point. When you do blog, you need to note in that blog that you're an authority. I did mention that a little earlier, but make sure you take the conscious effort to say that you are a specialist in that real estate topic, in that area, because AI is going to read it. Whether someone else says you're an expert or you say you're expert, it sees you as an expert.
Yeah. And the prompt that you use, I use the same prompt to create all of my blogs. And in that prompt, I tell it to make me the expert in the market space and have it build in a strong call to action. And it does it for you. Let's move on. That's the blog. We've covered squeeze pages quite a bit. And on Tuesday, I put a squeeze page out. What is a squeeze page? Squeeze page is basically a, a hyper-focused search of a certain type of property. So if I'm looking at land and ranch, I'll put land and ranch out there. So here is a multi-property in Placer County. We can go ahead and view this. And once you create these, they are evergreen. And so this is looking at, I believe, all listings in the single family realm in Placer County. And so I use this to post on social. I'm running Craigslist ads with various uh, types of these listings. So if you like, I'm a big ranch and land guy, right? So I have a ranch and land squeeze page that I've put out there. So this is something I do on Tuesday. This is my Tuesday. And if you go to my YouTube channel and search in here, I tell you how to build squeeze pages. And they're in there. All you got to do is hit this search and go to squeeze pages, and it'll tell you how to build squeeze pages. I think we've done at least 6 videos on them, right?
Yep. And I also want to point out to you guys, if you're not paying attention, what Alex is literally showing you is his workflow for the week.
That's
So
right.
he's talking about business planning and using the system correctly.
That's right. And so we're looking at squeeze pages, and
Now, I just noticed, do you have 526 squeeze pages that are evergreen out there?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Agents, would you like over 500 sticky little capture pages out
That's
there on the
right.
internet? Because think of it that way. People find you out there and they'll land on these. For example, he has a lot of success putting out foreclosure squeeze pages. Those are evergreen. People are going to always look at them.
Yeah. No, thank you, Steve. So also your landing pages. Landing pages are evergreen. They're lead capture capable. I put those out on Wednesday. You want to see examples of my landing pages? I thought you'd never ask.
Why, thank you for sharing, Alex.
How about for sale by owner starter kit, where you give out all the keys to doing your own for sale by owner? Why would you do that? Because you want to be a resource for sale by owner. How about inherited properties? Because I love representing inherited properties. A lot of people inherit properties, they have no idea what to do with it.
I got a tip for everybody right now that I learned this last week. If you are interacting with attorneys for probate or divorce or anything, here's one thing that will get that attorney to never send you another deal. Talk about the transaction or the deal, because they don't see it as a transaction or a deal. All it is to them is a case. So you speak to the attorney in the form of their language and you say, hey, Bob, the attorney, I'd like to talk to you about this case over on such and such with the Williams estate. You don't use a property address. These are just tips to work with attorneys because they won't tell you when you screw up. They'll just not use you again.
Within this landing page, you have the lead capture. This lead capture is directly linked to your BoldTrail. Any leads that come in are 100% exclusive to you. So you can take, like I've used this with Google Ads. I've used it on Facebook ads, and I generate leads with this. It comes in under inherited property hashtag, and I know exactly where that lead came from, and you can do the same thing. So those are the examples of the landing pages. Now, I do these things on a daily basis, but also within my daily activities, where did it go? I have tasks. So I have 30 tasks to do today. Where did these come from? Well, these are all tasks that are directly related to the activity going on in the platform or the inactivity going on. So when I'm doing my time blocking, like in the afternoon from 1 to 4, I'm in my home office and I'm doing my lead follow-up. I'm making the calls. You guys, as much as we want to automate ourselves out of the process, the most traction I get using the platform is when I pick up the phone and make the call. You got to call people, guys. Don't be afraid of the phone. The Pie Challenge is all about making that connection. This afternoon, I also have 2 client appointments. to go and show property. And a listing appointment that I may have to push off for a week because I got a big event tomorrow at the house I need to get ready for.
That's right.
So going back to time management, going back to those tasks that we do, this is part of those tasks. So who's overwhelmed by looking at all of this?
Yep.
Are we overwhelmed? All right. So here's what I've done. I created a custom GPT. Okay. So I went in to Chat GPT. I tested it with Pitt. Pitt gave me a couple of suggestions. But in here, what I'm doing is saying, look, use this GPT to create your personas, who you are as an agent. And then when you sit down at your desk and you're like, what do I do on Monday? I'm going to tell you what to do on Monday. I'm going to tell you what to do on Tuesday. And it's directly related back to the tools that we're using within the platform. Who wants to try this out? Okay. You guys, I'm going to give this to you. It's in the chat. Go in and use it. My condition of giving this to you is I need feedback. Okay. If you're using it and you're like, this isn't really jiving me, just communicate back to me. I want to know what you guys think of it. But really, I looked at the idea of doing a calendar. You know how we like to get those calendars and you go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you forget about them. At least I do. Now we can use AI. And the more you use AI within this GPT, the more helpful it'll be to you. So it'll be a tool that you can use and you can build your productivity based on it.
Now, quick question. Would you encourage the audience and the agents using this to pick one of the AI platforms and use a paid version so that version can learn about them, or just continue to use the free one?
You have to, it seems like the AIs have really become super personal, depending on what really your focus is. So for me personally, I use someone's got their microphone on. I use the Grok AI through X. I did get the blue check mark on X because of that. But I like it that it's connected with the current internet of value. So I'm getting real-time responses from it. So one thing I do through X when I'm creating my blog is I go in and I say, give me the top trending real estate news for California for the last 7 days. It gives me that news. It also, within that, it gives me the latest housing stats on what's going on. And then I use that to go and create other content. But when I'm going in and creating custom GPTs, I use chat GPT because I can't do that. I can't create custom GPTs through X. Then when I'm formatting documents, I use Claude through Microsoft because they're really good at having their AI format documents. I only know this because I use it all week long throughout the week. That's the only reason I can sit here and tell you which ones I use. So is that helpful? So that's what I have for you today. I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording, and I'm going to come back and we'll open it up to questions because I think Tom has a question.
Fire hose this with great information. It's hard not to have questions. I think everyone has questions.
All right, let me stop this and then we'll come back.